Arcade. My name is Devin.
I'm Johnny.
It's 3/13/2018. This week we're talking about Poloniex, Coinbase, Mt.gox and Binance. We also cover the new Netflix series Altered Carbon. Finally, wait till the end to get the scoop on the altcoin of the week, Cardano. Johnny, what happened in the world of crypto this week?
At the time of filming, Bitcoin is being traded about $9,200. Earlier last week, there was news that the lawyer handling the Mt.gox case was liquidating all of their assets to pay off their shareholders missing money. Now, for those of you that don't know, Mt.gox was the first Bitcoin exchange that existed and operated out of Japan way back in 2010. By 2014, this exchange was handling about 70% of all Bitcoin being traded at the time. Over time, someone hacked and stole coins out of the exchange's own wallet, which led to the exchange filing for bankruptcy protection.
Wow, that lawyer is wading through a mountain of gox right now. And quite frankly, goxing up this whole market.
Today, the lawyer Nobuaki Kobayashi, handling the Mt.gox case, is the trustee of the remaining assets of the company, which brings us back to news of the huge sell-off. Kobayashi reportedly has been slowly selling off about 36,000 Bitcoin and 34,000 Bitcoin Cash since last December to pay off its creditors and shareholders. At the time of filming, Kobayashi still has about 165,000 Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash valued at about 1.5 billion still in his control.
Looks like the Mt.gox shareholders will be able to keep their houses with the view of Mount Fuji, while the rest of us hold the door. Hold the door, Johnny!
In other news, Coinbase announced earlier this week that it was reportedly starting an index fund for its currently traded coins. The index fund is supposed to be similar to the S&P 500, which allows investors to be invested in a group of assets rather than track one of them at a time. The index fund is only currently available to US-based accredited investors, which means people with more than $1 million worth more than $1 million or make $200,000 annually have access to this new service.
So, of course, we here at Bitcoin Arcade are invested. You are, right, Johnny? No. Jordan? No.
Yes.
Oh. Okay, so hey, if you'd like to be Bitcoin Arcade's rich uncle, please DM or follow us on Instagram at Bitcoin Arcade. Shameless plug. Take us in a funny crypto meme, and we'll share your meme and you in the credits.
Speaking of accredited investors, a company called Circle bought the entire exchange of Poloniex. Now, Circle is a payment processing company that now deals with a peer-to-peer payment network using blockchain. The company is currently backed by Goldman Sachs, Baidu, the Google of China, and 3 major Chinese firms. This could be good to legitimize crypto for institutional investors.
That market needs good news like North Korea needs mechanized agriculture. Johnny, what else went down with Binance last week?
Binance earlier this week was subjected to an attempted security breach, which resulted in some people's assets to be sold off at market value. The attempted attack was a well-coordinated phishing scheme that was thwarted by the company's automatic risk management system. The hackers tricked some users into logging a clone version of the site, effectively stealing their credentials. They used the stolen credentials to log in and increase the price of an illiquid cryptocurrency, Viacoin, and took the returns into various accounts they controlled. Viacoin's market cap surged from 64 million to 159 million in minutes. However, Binance detected the unusual activity and prevented further damage.
Indeed, Binance's risk management system automatically disabled withdrawals, which effectively froze the stolen assets. Additionally, the Viacoins deposited by the hackers were also frozen, which meant that the hackers lost money and effectively failed to breach Binance. The exchange announced that it was fighting back by offering a bounty of $250,000 in Binance coins to anyone leading to the finding of the would-be thieves. So saddle up, hacker cowboys, and get to bounty hunting. Boo-boo-boo-boo-boo!
Unfortunately, the news about Binance came out about the same time the Security Exchange Commission announced that it would require exchanges to register with the SEC. This, combined with the Binance news, caused Bitcoin to tank from about $11,000 all the way down to as low as $8,300. Exchanges operating in the US that do not comply with the SEC's demands will likely be forced to close.
It was a tough week for the market. We continue to watch as the plot thickens in the crypto universe. Speaking of thick plot lines, up next, Nerd Thing.
Sup, you beautiful bastards? Hope you're
Hey.
having a fantastic Wednesday. Let's just jump into it, Phil DeFranco. This week, we're talking about a little show that was released on Netflix that Devin is absolutely in love with, and that is called Altered Carbon.
Yes, Altered Carbon.
And so, the premise of the show is the main character, Kovac, is awoken after 250 years on an off-world prison, essentially.
Yeah, and he doesn't care about anybody.
He wakes up and goes ballistic.
Yeah, bananas.
On everybody.
B-A-N-A-N-A-S, bananas.
Which they don't even have there. It's like synthetic bananas back
Yeah,
then.
that's
It's
true.
very, very Blade Runner-esque, which I
It's a
really
little film noir, the
Oh.
Altered Carbon. Yes, I like that it's dark.
love it. Love it.
This dark futuristic shithole,
It's
right?
great.
And then, but also there's a city in the clouds, and
There's a city in the clouds. So what happens is Kovac is awoken by essentially this rich guy who wants him to
figure out his murder.
his own murder, which
Possibly
if-
could
now-
be a suicide.
right.
We're not
If
really
it-
sure.
If it sounds confusing, it is, but it all works out in the end, obviously.
Here's the main thing that we're dealing with, right? Is like everybody's got one of these cortical
They're called
stacks, Jordan.
Yeah, they're called cortical stacks, and they hold your consciousness, and they can be taken out and put into different bodies, which explains why he was able to exist for 250 years without being woken up.
Yeah, if you're really rich, then they can send you to the cloud, like the iCloud for human people.
Yeah,
and
and
then
that-
they send that back to a new cortex, and you can pop
And
up in
so
that body.
So the only way you can die is by getting your stack destroyed.
Totally blown out.
Yeah,
Blew
so-
that stack out.
Anybody who can afford it cannot die. One of the big reasons that I loved this, Blade Runner. Blade Runner, Blade Runner, Blade Runner. It is so Blade Runner. It's kind of unreal. It's bizarre. It's very obvious that there were a lot of homages paid to Blade Runner in this series.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because it's adapted from a sci-fi novel from the 80s, which is when Blade Runner was released. It was that whole period of weird, future, but also retro tech. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Instantly.
So
it's
on
really
a level,
cool how they did that.
I thought that the acting was really good.
Really good, especially Poe.
Yeah, Poe is my favorite. I love the AI character.
So good.
Who's just in love with humans. It's totally the polar switch on the AI character.
His only reason for existence is to run this hotel.
The
That's
shitty
it.
hotel.
That's it. And like get hookers out of it. That's all he does.
And he's
And
real
he-
worried about the rats.
The rats and his patrons.
But really,
Well,
his whole thing is
technically
like he
patrons.
just wants to be the main character, Sherlock Holmes.
Right.
You know, he wants so bad to like hook up with Joel Kinnaman, and
Yeah.
like help him out.
He even looks like Edgar Allan Poe. He
Yeah.
quotes Edgar Allan Poe.
He
in the
kind of
thing.
reminds me of like a nicer Al. You know what I'm talking about? Like just
Yeah.
he's like a nicer version
Yeah.
of Al. Like if Al actually wanted to be there helping him out. You know what I mean?
Or if Poe was HAL 9000,
yeah. Well, if Poe
Space
is.
Odyssey would have never been made.
Yeah, because
they
Hal would
would've
have
made
been
it home.
so cool. They would have been like, yeah, I'm gonna get you guys home, and you can have a martini
I'll
on
grow
the
you
way.
some weed.
Yeah.
Let me take care of it.
Oh man, yeah,
Oh,
he's
man,
the best
yeah.
part of the show.
It was good.
For sure.
If you haven't seen Altered Carbon, watch Altered Carbon. Coming up next, we got your altcoin.
Of the week. The altcoin of the week this week is Cardano, aka ADA. The sixth biggest cryptocurrency by market cap, this coin is always very promising. The charts for this coin look very strong. Last year, it had its run relatively early, so if this year we have growth early, Cardano can be one of the first to bless us with easy money for us to enjoy. Anyways, that was from Alan Masters on TradingView. Johnny, anything else on ADA right now?
ADA has a market cap of about 5 billion and currently has a circulating supply of about 25 billion.
Cardano was created by blockchain development firm Input Output Hong Kong, IOHK, and led by Charles Hoskinson, former co-founder of the BitShares and Ethereum. Its goal is to run smart contracts, decentralized application, sidechains, and multi-party computation and metadata.
Is Cardano a blockchain?
Cardano is a blockchain and is programmed using the Hackcell program, which is known for being as fault resistant as the iceberg that took down the Titanic.
How is the scalability of this altcoin then?
This coin boasts a huge scalability and is looking to be the world leader in that market of transferring money from one spot of the world to the other really fast. Definitely be on the lookout for this coin as it currently sits at a very low buy-in price and could potentially be a good grab for any portfolio.
We really like the team behind Cardano. Cardano is the first protocol to incorporate Ouroboros, the groundbreaking proof-of-stake algorithm. The IOHK team employed a first principles approach driven by peer-reviewed academic research to build Cardano from the ground up.
Look for a breakout coming this week. Definitely Cardano's kind of trading sideways, and we think it's about ready to pop. So that's the altcoin of the week, you guys. Thanks for tuning into Bitcoin Arcade so much. Make sure that you subscribe and tell us how you feel in the comments below. And if you'd like to see a particular altcoin, definitely let us know, and you and that altcoin may be featured in an upcoming episode.
Bye!